Today we've got some wonderful brand new mods as well as some pretty great classics. Overall, just some really awesome new stuff for you to throw into your load order. Before we begin though, I do just want to mention a big ol' thank you to all of my wonderful Patreon members. You amazing people have continued your support for so long, and you guys are just awesome. It really is truly appreciated, and I just wanted to take a moment to really show you guys how much I do appreciate every single one of you. You guys rock. You're completely awesome. I cannot thank you enough. If Patreon sounds like your kind of thing and you'd like to support my work directly, whether it's the videos here on YouTube or the mods I make on the Nexus, the best way to do that is over on Patreon, link down in the description. But of course, that's completely optional, not something you need to consider if you don't want to. One other thing, if you like these kinds of videos and you want to see more of Fallout 4 modding content and you're not subscribed already, consider subscribing. It's free and it helps out the channel quite a bit. Now then, let's go ahead and get into today's video with the first mod, known as the M590 Pump Action Shotgun by Diakyuto. That's right, Diakyuto is back with yet another pump action shotgun. This one is going to be ripped directly out of the massive Wars mod to make a standalone version of that mod's M590, complete with an overhaul, new skins, new attachments, and a bunch of other fun goodies. Including custom animations by Hitman, this is really the perfect package. If you're looking for a new pump action shotgun, I know I made a video about one not too long ago. This is definitely one that should give you a run for your money for one of the better shotgun mods out there. This mod is a wonderfully complete package. Like I already mentioned, this thing comes with custom animations as well as a ton of attachments over at the weapons workbench, so you can customize this thing to your liking. A bunch of skins, leveled list integration, and a unique that you can go and find that has its own unique look and effect, which is always a huge plus. The custom animations featured in this shotgun come with a bullet counter reload support, which is always a huge plus, and it works flawlessly. Whenever you load the shells, there's not any glitchy animation, it just works, and it looks great. So that's honestly a really huge plus to this mod over some of the other pump action shotguns out there. Since this thing is pulled from Wars, the models and textures are fantastic. They are really top quality, super crispy, super clean, and altogether just look really nice. Along with all of these skins and attachments available, this makes for a really good looking shotgun with some configurations that I just adore. As for the level list integration, you can find this thing on the Triggermen, Gunners, Railroad Agents, and Trappers after level 18, which means this is also available at Far Harbor, which I believe is a requirement anyways because pump actions usually rely on the lever action as a base. Now, as for the unique, it is a brand new M590 known as the Shockwave, which is going to have a nice little bit of electrical damage, and it's sold by Tinker Tom. So if you want to get your hands on this thing, you're going to need to make your way into the railroad as an ally so that you can purchase it from Tinker Tom. Additionally, having the option to choose between wood and polymer materials and a handful of camos to go on the metal, this thing makes for a really awesome, super customizable shotgun, one that is really just great. There's no reason not to try this thing out. If you already have a shotgun for your load order and you don't want another one, at the very least give this one a test and make sure that you're not missing out on something truly great. But if you don't mind variety, then add this thing into your load order as just another pump action to find. It's a little bit different from the other ones you probably already have. Overall, a fantastic mod and one worth checking out. If you want to try it out, much like every other mod in this video, it will be linked down in the description below. Now, the next mod we're checking out is an oldie but truly a goodie. It's actually so old, it's one of the first really great Fallout 4 mods, and since I wasn't really doing videos at that time, I never got a chance to cover it. We're checking out the AK-74M Assault Rifle by FX0X01. A fantastic mod author with a fantastic mod. This was the pinnacle of AK mods for a very long time, and I'm here to say that it probably still is. This is a truly fantastic AK with tons of customization and a bunch of features that make this thing fantastic. For starters, the models and textures are phenomenal, and they have held up over time fantastically. This thing first came out in 2017. It is now 7 years later, almost 8. And this thing is truly fantastic. 1 month from now, this will be 8 years old, and it looks perfect. It looks like something that could come out today and still be phenomenal. So, truly a wonderful one. Those of you who have been in the modding scene for a very long time probably already know this mod, but I'm guessing that some of you newer people may not. If you're looking for an AK mod, this is definitely the best place to check. It also comes with a ton of attachments over at the weapons workbench, lots of different furniture, lots of different camos, as well as a unique to find, which as you know is one of my favorite things. Now, when it comes to the standard version of the weapon, the regular old AK-74, you can craft it over the chemistry station or you can purchase it from vendors. It is not added to the level list of enemies, but I guarantee with how old this mod is, there's probably patches for that already. Additionally, there are technically 2 uniques. The real unique, which is going to be a very fancy version of this gun with a new paint job, is known as the Frontliner. It has a nice yellow and carbon sort of paint job, and if you want to get your hands on this thing, it's found in the Glowing Sea, locked behind a very, very tough locked door. So if you want to get that, you're going to need to get some skills in lockpick, head to the Glowing Sea and start looking around. Additionally, there is an extra unique, which is just a different variant of the AK-74, the AKS-74U, the smaller carbine version, which is going to be hidden over on Spectacle Island. What's interesting is that the AKS-74U is one of a kind, so it is technically a unique, but it is a pretty standard variant of a normal gun. But it comes with its own custom models and textures that look fantastic, and its own attachments as well, so it's definitely one that's worth picking up if you want a great version of the AKSU. Of course, somehow I forgot to mention, this thing does come with custom animations, which look absolutely fantastic, that hold up very well as well. Honestly, this is a peak mod. This had AAA quality when it came out, and it still does. Overall, a truly fantastic mod, and it's one I really recommend checking out. If you need an AK for your load order, whether you're in a retro set or a modern tactical load order, this works for both. It's a truly fantastic mod. Honestly, it's up the top mods for a reason. Now, the next mod is also a classic, but it's one maybe less people know about. This is the SA80 British Assault Rifle, the L85 and L86 pack by Con08. This adds the fantastic L85, L86, or SA80. I truly, despite being a gun nut, don't really know the difference between these because this is an area that I'm just not too familiar with. But you may be familiar with at least one of these names, and you'll know the Enfield when you see it. This thing comes with a bunch of attachments that allows you to change it between these different variants, leveled-less integration, and a brand new unique. And of course, because this thing is bullpup, it comes with custom animations, which for 2017, a bullpup with custom animations was something to be sought after. And to be honest, this one holds up pretty well as well. Some of the textures have a little bit of issues, but it's not that noticeable unless you go into certain lighting. The animations hold up perfectly fine, there's a ton of attachments, and as well as unique skins for the unique and also some skins that you can throw onto the base gun. This thing is a really nice complete package. Now, as for the integration, if you want to get your hands on the base version of this gun, you can of course spawn it in by using the help command, but it can also be found in a set spawn in public occurrences for some reason. It is found in a cabinet in that location, but it is also added to the leveled list of gunners and high-level raiders, so you can find this thing out in the world being used by enemies, which is always my favorite thing. There also is a unique that was added in an update known as Who Dares Wins. This is a legendary version with its own unique paint job, and if you want to get your hands on this thing, it's found over at Gunner's Plaza, so you're definitely going to have to fight through some tough enemies to get your hands on a really cool looking weapon. The SA80 or L85 or L86, whatever it is that you want to call it, is a really, really cool weapon that we just don't see enough of on the Fallout 4 modding scene. As far as I know, this is actually the best version of it, and again, this thing came out in 2017, so I would either love to see somebody come up with a new version of this thing, or maybe an overhaul to this one. At the very least, though, you can use this one for now, and it holds up perfectly fine. If this is a weapon you've been looking for your load order, once again, whether you're a tactical load order or a retro one, this mod fits perfectly well in either. It's in that nice sweet spot where it kind of fits the aesthetic of both, and I like this thing quite a bit. This thing does not get enough love. It's a very underrated mod. It's one that I think you should check out as well. The same goes for pretty much all the weapons in this video, but this one truly is a really, really unique pick since there's not much like it on the Nexus. Now, the next mod is a little bit different because it's not a new weapon mod, but rather an overhaul of an existing one. This is the Missile Launcher Munitions Rocket add-on by Micalov. This is going to add some new attachments to the missile launcher to add rocket support from the rockets in Munitions. Now, there is no mod that will innately use rockets from Munitions unless you download a couple of mine or, well, I don't know many others that actually use the rockets from Munitions. I'm sure there's some out there, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Now, this is going to add a rocket rechamber to the missile launcher that adds some interesting new barrels, including a 9-barrel option. We know we get up to 4 with the missiles in the vanilla game, but this one gives you up to 9 because the rockets are quite small. They do a little bit less damage, but they are much lighter, and you can spam 9 of them very, very quickly, which makes them super cool. There is also a smaller version that has, I think, a 5-shot launcher, but it is not notable because it has no custom model. The 9-shot has its own cool custom model with 9 big holes on the end of this thing that makes it look super, super cool. Honestly, a really fun addition that just looks incredible. This was an idea I had for the attachment pack, but I didn't want to have the attachment pack rely on Munitions, so luckily Micalov got around to pretty much doing the same exact idea and making a really, really fun launcher. Now, of course, if you're not a Munitions user, this mod doesn't mean a whole lot to you, but if you are, this is something I'd recommend. There's not a lot of weapons out there that shoot rockets, and it helps to add a new attachment, at least, to an existing weapon, so you don't have to go and find something new. You can just convert your weapon to use one of the cool new ammunitions. If you run out of missiles, but you have a spare supply of rockets, this is going to be perfect for you. It's really easy, really simple, no level-less integration needed because it's just an attachment. This thing just works. It's a very simple mod, a very easy download, and it takes up pretty much no space in your game. So if you're already using Munitions, there's really no reason not to use this mod as well. A truly fantastic work. Micalov is awesome. He makes really cool NIF bashes, and this one is no different. Now, speaking of munitions, we have another fun mod known as the Thumper grenade launcher by Diakyuto. Of course, a rendition of the M79 from Wars. Now, this thing doesn't actually require munitions innately. There are a handful of different versions of this mod that you can use because there are different mods and other options for the grenades shot of this rifle. Now, this is a classic 40mm grenade launcher, but of course, there are no 40mm grenades in Fallout 4. But actually, now there are. Thanks to the Creation Club, we do have 40mm grenades if you decided to go through with that update. If you're backdated like me, however, you may want to use something else. For example, the 40mm grenades from Munitions. There is also a version of this that is compatible with the Explosive Complex pack, so really there are a lot of options. You really get to pick and choose exactly where your ammo comes from here. You're not going to be forced into one lane or another. You can use the CC stuff, you can use the Munitions, which is probably my preferred way to go, or you can use the Explosive Complex pack if you're using that. I actually use that with Munitions and have a Munitions rechamber, so everything's going to be using the same 40mm. That way you don't get confused and accidentally load up the wrong ammunition. Now, aside from all of the ammo confusion, this is a really fantastic mod. Comes with custom animations, level-less integration, and some fun attachments to boot. On top of all of that, there's also a unique version of this weapon known as the St. Sean Special, which is going to be a reference back to that Explosives pack, but it's going to be changed up a bit. Still found over in Gorski's cabin like the original, but instead of having the ability to change out grenade types, that has all been done away with and instead will now have the Berserker legendary effect. This thing being overhauled to use custom animations is fantastic. Most of the grenade launchers we had previously just used the sawed-off, but this one has a proper set that looks really, really cool where you actually grip the grenade and everything looks super nice. Like I said, this thing is added to the level list. If you want to get your hands on this thing, it's found on Raiders and Gunners after level 20. Minutemen will start getting it after level 30, and then you can also purchase one from Clio after level 30. Overall, a really cool grenade launcher. There's a lot of grenade launchers out there now, which is something really, really cool because there was a time where there was pretty much nothing. Now, if you want to have a nice choice, this is a really good run for your money. If you want to pick a really cool M79 specifically, now you have a few mods to choose from, and I think this is definitely one of the ones you should consider. Especially having those custom animations that pretty much none of the other ones have, that's something I'd really consider. Overall, a fantastic mod, much like all of the other mods in this video. Like I said before, if you want to try any of these out, they will all be linked down in the description below. While you're down there, consider checking out my Patreon if you'd like to support me directly, but of course that is completely optional. Drop this video a like if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed once again, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!